So, what if you could create your own future? And I don't mean just by wishing for it, but by actually changing your own biology. That's the revolutionary idea at the core of Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural. And we're about to dive into exactly how it's supposed to work.
But first, let me ask you a question. Is your past defining your future? Do you ever feel like you're just stuck on a hamster wheel, waking up every single day to the same problems, the same feelings, the same reality? Well, this is the exact problem that Becoming Supernatural is all about tackling. So, how does this even happen? Well, the book argues that we get stuck because, quite literally, our past becomes our biology. Here's the core of it. When you have a powerful experience, it doesn't just sit in your head as a memory. Your brain actually hardwires it into your neural circuits, and your body stores the emotion that goes with it. This means you're not just remembering the past, your body is chemically reliving it over and over and over again. Let's make this real with an example from the book. A woman named Anna Willems. After her husband died suddenly and traumatically, her entire world was turned upside down. And her grief wasn't just in her head, it set off a whole chain reaction of physical problems. She was just slammed by the storm of emotions, grief, fear, you name it. This led to clinical depression, she ended up in an abusive relationship, and eventually her body just started to break down. We're talking ulcers, skin conditions, food allergies. Her immune system basically gave up. Her body was living in the biology of her past trauma, day in and day out.
And this is the trap, right? This is a cycle so many of us can fall into. When your body gets conditioned to feel the same emotions every day, it just goes on autopilot, expecting those same feelings. Your body then drags your mind into a predictable future, subconsciously creating situations that will just generate those same old, familiar, and often negative emotions.
So that's the big question, isn't it? If our own biology can trap us in the past, could it also be the key to setting us free? Are we really confined by these limits, or is there a way out?
And this is where things get really exciting. This brings us to the book's central promise, tapping into our supernatural potential to go beyond our own limitations. To really get this idea, the book tells this incredible story about an 11th century yogi named Milarepa. He believed that our physical world isn't nearly as solid as we think it is, and that our consciousness is the ultimate reality.
Legend has it that Milarepa proved this in the most profound way. By shifting his consciousness, he stopped seeing any separation between himself and the wall of his cave. In that state of unity, he just pushed his hand right into the stone, leaving an impression you can still go and see today. It's this mind-blowing example of how our beliefs can literally shape our physical reality. Okay, so a yogi pushing his hand through a rock is one thing, but how do we do it? The key, according to Dispenza, lies in what he calls the generous present moment. Now, to understand this, we've got to talk about the quantum field for just a second. Imagine it's not empty space, but more like a kind of cosmic Wi-Fi. It's this invisible, intelligent network of pure potential. And on this network, every single possibility already exists. A future where you're healthy, one where you're wealthy, they all exist as a frequency in this field. The way you connect to that field of possibility is by getting into this sweet spot of the present moment. This is a state where you're so focused on the now that your body finally gets off that autopilot of the past, and you're no longer worrying about some predictable future. In this moment, you become pure consciousness, and that is where you can create something totally new. So how do you actually send a signal out into that field? The book lays out a really simple two-part formula. First, you need a clear intention. That's the specific thought or the command you're sending out. But a thought by itself isn't enough. You have to combine it with an elevated emotion, a powerful feeling like joy or gratitude that acts like a magnetic charge, drawing that new reality right to you. And this is the secret sauce. You can't just think your way to a new future. You have to feel your way there. You have to teach your body emotionally what it will feel like when your dream is a reality. Gratitude is absolutely perfect for this, because when you feel truly grateful, you're sending a signal to your body that the event has already happened.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds a little out there, but Dr. Dispenza backs this up with some really compelling evidence of actual, real-world transformations. Let's start with the cold, hard data. At one of his workshops, they measured something called immunoglobulin A. It's a super important protein for your immune system. Well, after just 4 days, the average increase was almost 50%. This isn't just people feeling better. This is a measurable, biological upgrade happening in real time.
And it's not just lab results. The book is packed with incredible personal stories. I mean, take Felicia, a doctor who'd had horrible eczema her whole life. One workshop and poof, rash is gone. Or Sarah, who was literally scheduled for major back surgery. She applied these techniques, healed herself, and got back to playing sports again. These are life-changing results.
So what is actually happening in the body? Well, it all starts with the heart. When you practice feeling those elevated emotions like gratitude, your heart literally starts beating in a more orderly, coherent rhythm. And as you can see here, that powerful signal from the heart travels up to the brain, getting your brain waves to work together in a more synchronized, powerful way. It's simple, really. A coherent heart helps create a coherent brain.
You know, part of creating that new future is also about letting go of the old one. The book has this great analogy. Think about how atoms are bonded by energy to create molecules. Well, in the same way, we get energetically bonded to people, places, and memories from our past through strong emotions. To really move forward and build something new, you have to consciously break those old bonds and reclaim all that energy for the future you actually want.
And all of this leads us to what I think is the most profound takeaway from becoming supernatural. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? The whole point of this work isn't just about manifesting stuff, a new car, a better job. The real prize, the real transformation is an internal one. It's about becoming the kind of person who would naturally have that new reality. Because at the end of the day, your outer world is just a mirror of your inner world. When you truly change your internal state of being, your thoughts, your feelings, your external reality doesn't have a choice. It has to follow suit. You stop being a victim of your circumstances, and you finally step into your power as the creator of your life.
So, the final question the book leaves us with is a big one. Knowing that all of this potential is just waiting for you, who will you choose to become?